Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the Infatuasian podcast. Hey, today's a celebration. We are celebrating 2 years of this little dinky podcast. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! So we're gonna do a little reminiscing today. We're gonna talk about the past. We're gonna talk about the future. Well, I'm gonna talk about the present as well. And so I want to bring along a couple people. So the first person I want to bring along is someone that you all know. Well, you should all know. If you are a loyal Infatuasian podcast listener, you know this person. She has been with us since December of 2021. She has been able to be on, I don't know, like 10 episodes or so. She's been around. She is none other than super producer Madison. Hey, Maddie, what's up?
Hi, long time no see.
I know. Oh, we should say high school graduate, Madison.
Oh, Lots
Congrats
of
on
new happy
graduating.
changes. Thank you.
Yeah. We are excited about that. But let me introduce our second guest today. We are introducing someone. He's not someone that you know, but is someone that you have heard from in very subtle and pervasive ways. He's kind of what people call, in this industry, they call them a bounce. Someone that you bounce ideas off of, someone that gives you feedback. He's been with us since day one. Episode 1, John? Is that what we did?
Yeah, since episode 1, yes.
Episode 1, and pretty much every episode. Can you say pretty much every episode? Can you think of any that you had to skip or you wanted to skip?
I can't. I want to say I've listened to everyone.
Nice.
That's
And so I'll get a random message from John saying, "Hey, I like this, or I didn't like that, or we should try this." He gives me a lot of ideas. I bounce ideas off of him. We met probably, when did I get married? We met probably almost 20 years ago. We met. He's one of my brother-in-law's friends, calling in all the way from Hayward, California. He is in the parking lot in Hayward, California, because he said he's got little kids running around the house. There's no way we could record at home. So he is just got off work. It is John. Hey, John, welcome.
Hey,
Hello.
thank you for having me, Madison. Nice to meet you after listening to the podcast. So nice to meet you, and great to see you, Curtis.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, no, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen each other in person. But but the messages are really appreciated, John. So I appreciate the feedback, and I appreciate you listening.
Of course. When I first heard that you were doing a podcast, I was just really excited. I've been listening, to various podcasts since 2004, so it's just really exciting. And then what you were talking about also was just really interesting. And then, like you said, I've known you for around over 15 years, not only through fantasy football, but you've you've helped me jumpstart my car once when it ran out of ran out of battery. So Curtis, you're a great guy.
True besties.
Yeah. And
we've been to Vegas together. We can't talk about these trips, but we've been to Vegas together.
We've been to Vegas together. We went on a cruise to Mexico.
We did.
Wow.
We did.
Not together. No. Curtis was with his wife. Curtis was with his wife.
Just the two of us.
Yeah, and then me and Avery tagged along.
I actually missed those days, man. They seem more carefree now. Before we had kids,
yeah,
before we had mortgages,
right?
Yeah.
How old were you guys?
Oh man, we must have been. Let's see, this must have been 20.
You're
20
younger
years.
than me, so yeah,
this must have been around 20 years ago.
Yeah, so you were.
I wasn't even born.
I know, Madison. Don't rub it in. All right. So I like to call John the man behind the man. He's the man behind the curtain. He's the one who kind of comes up with ideas, shoots ideas out. We bounce them off each other. But yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about the pod. We're going to talk a little bit about our memories, Madison, our deep, deep memories, and we're going to talk about maybe the future a little bit, and we'll talk about our vision and stuff like that. So I'm going to hand the keys to the car over to John. He's going to kind of be the interviewer today, and we're going to be the guest, Madison. That's kind of new.
Yeah, that is true. We've never done this before. I feel like, honestly, usually I'm quiet. I was always intended to be a fly on the wall, but Mr. Chin wanted me to talk. So
you were the fly on the wall, and we put a microphone in your face.
Yeah. But I feel like typically I don't really say much just because I'm shy. But today
You're the
is a
guest. You're
special
the guest
day.
of honor.
Yes.
All right, take it away, John.
So, I mean, I want to start off saying congratulations, Curtis, on 2 years. It's been a lot of work, and I don't think a lot of people understand how much work it takes to just put out an episode. So, I mean, you've done a lot of work, Madison. You've also done a lot of work. So, congratulations to you. And just putting this out as a passion project. I mean, I think when I first talked to you about this, we talked about ad reads, and then you were telling me, dude, you need X amount of downloads to start making
and we
money.
We are not close to that.
So this is literally just like for the love of it, and it's a lot of work, and just proud of you and congratulations on 2 years.
Thanks so much, man. Yeah. No, people ask me that all the time. Even my own children ask me, "Oh, how much money are you making off your podcast?" And I'm like, "Well, is it got a negative sign in front of the number, whatever it is, forever how much we spend on microphones and Zoom accounts? It's a negative number, but it's definitely been fun, and it doesn't feel like work yet." Madison, did it ever feel like work to you doing the editing and stuff?
To be honest, sometimes, just because that sounds horrible, but it is a lot more work than you think, especially because, like, let's say we'll talk for 2 hours. Number one, like, you have to listen to all of that repeatedly, over and over again. Number one, for, like, editing it, as in, like, splicing things and putting things back together, like, seamlessly. Then sometimes, like, fixing distorted audio. Then, the reason why I wanted to join the podcast was to practice, like, mixing things. And so, like, also just trying to, like, do audio engineering as, like, somebody, like, new to it. So it's a learning process, and just with the amount of content there is, it's tricky sometimes. So yeah, but I've learned a lot, and I've had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah,
so,
you're used to working on, like, 3-minute songs.
Oh, yeah. Even that takes forever.
And then I give you like an 80-minute podcast. Like,
yeah. I've loved it. I've learned a lot. So thank you.
Oh, yeah. No, this is great. Actually, we won't give the actual destination. Madison doesn't want us to tell the exact location, but we will say this, everyone. Madison got into pretty much all her dream schools for music production.
Well, I didn't apply to that many schools, so...
Yeah. No, but she had some choices, guys. And so... You'll see. One of these days it'll slip out, but yeah, she's going to an amazing school, and she's doing what she wants to do.
I know. I feel I'm very lucky and happy that I get to pursue music, and hopefully I want to minor in film too, because I like the intersectionality between like music and visuals. So that should be fun. I'm happy to meet like-minded creative people. So yeah.
Keep us on your resume.
Oh, of course. Sorry, we went on a
little bit of a tangent. Yeah, go ahead, John. You take it over.
It's okay. This always happens. It's fun.
This happens.
It's a little chat.
No
I cut out all this stuff. It sounds smooth when we're all done with it.
That's the hard work.
We sound coherent at the end.
That's the hard work you're doing. Okay, I got a few questions for you, Curtis.
Okay.
First one: what were the initial goals of the podcast?
Okay, this is something I've never shared with people. This story. So my original, Madison, you're gonna, I think you're gonna hate this, but the original format, I was thinking I was gonna call the podcast Generation, and I was gonna have, because I'm Gen X, I was gonna get a millennial. She's making the barf face. It was gonna be called Generation, and it was gonna be me as a Gen X. I was gonna have a millennial on, and I was gonna have someone from Gen Z, one of you high schoolers on, and we were gonna look at things through the lens of being Asian American. Like, for example, we're gonna okay, well, who was your first Asian celebrity that you saw on TV or something like that? We're gonna talk about different topics and just take it through the lens of 3 different age groups.
That's pretty cool.
I think. Then after talking to my friend Nadira, who was going to be the millennial, we were like, this is a stupid idea. No one's going to listen to this.
No, I mean, I think that's a good idea. I just think there's less flexibility with that. Right now with like Infatuasian, we technically are doing the generation thing.
Yeah. No,
but
that's what
exploring
it, so that turned,
different
it
stuff.
kind of, we did that still. Like I still had Indira on, I still had you on, but it wasn't like that's our whole focus. It was just kind of like it's just nice to have different ages on when we talk about things. But it wasn't like, hey guys, this is our whole shtick is, you know, looking at something from three different. So anyway, so that was the initial, and then I was just trying to think of a slogan. And so the slogan, early day slogan, I don't know if you remember this, John, was we talk about Asian things that we love. That was my my tagline. So that was all it was going to be. We're just talking about Asian things that we love. And so we started with K-dramas, we started with food, we started with novel. You know, that was just kind of like where we were going to go, talking about Asian things that we love. And so that was my vision, was just to throw out things that we love, ways that Asian culture and Asian creators make your life better. And I mean, we're not that far off from that. No. But that was our initial tagline, and that's what my goal was, is just to put out some Asian love for Asian things. And you know, during the pandemic, we were in 2021. It was kind of still at the height of the just starting to be post-vaccine pandemic. And the Asian hate was flying around, still is, but it was really heavy in that year. And it was just kind of like, let's put out some positive vibes and some good feel-good stories. And yeah, so that was the initial vision. Did you ever catch that, Madison? Were you on board with that, or did you just want to mix sound?
No, I just wanted to mix sound. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people would think that the reason why the podcast appealed to me was because of the people that I ended up speaking to, but I still pretty much joined in the early stages. I think the podcast was only a few months old, right?
Yeah.
Was it?
We had never done interviews.
So you started in June, and then I started the December after, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he would promote his podcast in class, and I, like, as somebody who wants to go into audio tech, I was like, I'll volunteer for you. I'll edit audio just to practice. And he was like, okay. And then we did a podcast with the Asian Soup Girls, right?
From Australia.
Yes, and they're like millennial women, like fashion people. And he was like, Madison, I need you to come on. And I wasn't going to talk. I was just going to be there, like, mutual support. Woo, like, you can do it. You can talk to 20-year-old girls about fashion and their careers and starting a podcast. And then I just ended up coming on to more, and cool people started coming on. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
You jumped on right when we started doing interviews.
Yeah.
Like, that was when we started to shift into, hey, this would be fun to bring in some different people. And different podcasters, and then eventually, quote unquote, celebrities started coming on. So that was kind of different.
Yeah, so it's been cool to grow with the podcast, especially because I do feel very shy, and I've always wanted to be in the background. So it's been a good challenge for me. Yeah.
But, you know, I think one of your strengths, Madison, was that I think you disarm people a little, the older people a little bit, you know, because if it's me, they kind of feel like, oh, I have to pretend to be super knowledgeable, or I have to have the right answer. With you, it's kind of like I feel like with high schoolers, they feel a little more like, oh, let me answer your questions, or let me. Yeah,
like mentorship. That's something I've gotten a lot through being a part of the Infatuasian podcast, which has been really nice.
Yeah, now people love talking to you, Madison. They tolerate me, but they like talking to you.
I'm pretty sure they just tolerate me too. To be honest, I feel like I have nothing ever like important to add to a conversation.
No, but you know, I see them light up though. They kind of like, oh, let me tell. When you ask a question, they're like, oh, okay, let me ask. You know, they're excited when a young person is interested in what they're doing, and I think that
that's very nice. Though
because they're creatives,
like,
you know.
Yeah, and I genuinely am interested in what people do, so I like hearing about it.
Yeah, no, I think if I ever find another high schooler, it would have to be someone who can ask good questions, because I think you have genuine curiosity. And that you want to know the answer, so you're not just interviewing. You're like, hey, I want to learn something here, and I think people can see that.
Definitely trip over my words a lot, but at least that I have like true intentions.
No, I think if we were too slick, I think people would feel like we're overproduced. You know?
No, but yeah, even like talking to Adam about fishing, like that was fun.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Or like cooking, like that's not something creative, but I still think it's cool.
Yeah.
So you just start off with topics with your friends, and you just start talking about things, and then you moved over into interviews. I mean, you still talk to your friends, you still talk to your buddies, but you did branch out into interviews. What made you kind of switch over or add that to the podcast?
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it was just listening to other people's shows. And, one show I really like is called Fresh Air. And it is a show with a woman, and she's not necessarily an expert in anything, but she has a wide range of guests, from economists to celebrities to government officials. She has a really wide range of people come on. And I kind of like that show, and I started to think about, well, we're talking about Asian things, especially things that are creative. We may as well go straight to the source. And so I think, who was our first interview? It might have been the Australian folks from the Asian Soup podcast, or it might have been, that movie about Lowell High School, the Try Harder. The director of that might have been one of our first ones.
Yeah.
And then after Devi Lum from the Try Harder film, I think we had, and Madison always gives me a hard time about this one because I was so nervous. I was heavy breathing out of heart palpitations. But we interviewed Miranda Kwok, the executive producer of The Cleaning Lady. And then I started to think, hey, there's people who want to talk about their work, and there's people who want to promote it. And so we started to do kind of a steady stream of interviews in the beginning of 2022. And I just love it.
I loved it too.
I enjoy learning about it. And, because when it's just me and people talking about something, I feel like I'm pretending to be an expert on it. Like if you and I are talking about Filipino food or something, I'm like, well, what do I know about Filipino food, right? I don't know that much. So I feel like, well, let's talk to a Filipino chef, or let's bring in someone who actually knows what they're talking about. And so it took the pressure off of me to do the interviews and let them be the expert and let them share what they're doing. And so I just really enjoy it. I enjoyed meeting them, and I enjoyed learning. And then, Madison came on that time. So we interviewed some pretty cool people. And it's getting good. I mean, we're not getting good. It's been good. We've been interviewing, I don't want to say bigger, but just a wider range of people, and definitely people that you've heard of a little bit more, or that you've seen. So it's been super fun.
Yeah, and I gotta say, for your interview style and the way that you've approached guests, the way you've led the interview, the way you've kind of managed things. I mean, from day one until now, I gotta say your interview style has gotten exponentially better. Like, you can hear the difference in your voice, the comfortability.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing.
The way that you're able to juggle, multiple guests, if you have multiple guests, if it's not just one-on-one, to take a basketball term, the 3-man weave.
Yeah.
Just being able to, juggle multiple personalities and questions and answers and the flow. It's definitely improved since day one until now. It sounds good.
Yeah, thanks, man. And I think the biggest thing for me is that I only get people that I genuinely am a fan of. Like, there was one opportunity I had to do an interview with someone, and I just wasn't a huge fan, and I didn't want to fake it and say, oh yeah, your thing is really good and I love it, I read it every week or whatever. I just didn't feel like I can do that, even though the guests might be interesting to some people, but I had to say no, because I just didn't feel like I would be doing the topic or the person justice, because I don't want to interview someone just to get an episode done. So I genuinely only kind of reach out and seek out people that I really want to know what they're up to, and I really like what they're doing, and I want to be a part of it. So,
and you can hear that in the interview. You'd be able to hear, like, I think I told you that, I don't know if you noticed this, Madison, but there are certain topics or certain interviews where you can tell Curtis's ears like perk up, like when he talks about either food or K-dramas or music or K-pop or whatever. Like those are like the topics that he is genuinely like a fan of and interested in, and then so like I could hear it in his voice and in the guest's voice. The guest can feed off of that energy too, and it just makes it that much better of an episode.
I think they can tell when you really, you're asking them questions that they're like, how did you even find that thing that you're asking? And they can tell that, you care, or you're really digging pretty deep to find these questions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question. Curtis and Madison, how have you changed as a podcaster since day one until now?
For me, well, definitely in the hustle of trying to get guests. I think when I first started, I was really like, they won't talk to us. Who are we? We're nobody. We have 100 followers. like I was really pretty not thinking much of ourselves. And then after a while, it was just kind of like, YOLO, right? We're just going to ask, and all they can say is no. And a lot of times they don't even reply, or they don't even read the message. But sometimes they do, and that's one of the more surprising things was that, people with a lot of that's kind of my gauge is I look at their Instagram, and if they have more than 100,000 followers, they're probably not going to talk to us. But some of them do, sometimes people will read a DM and it'll be something that they're in the mood to do, and they'll come on. But it's not very often that we get someone with 1 million subscribers or whatever will come on. But once in a while, we'll get someone who's pretty big, and they're just kind of, let's be honest, they're doing us a favor. They're not gaining much by being on our show, except for having I hope a good conversation. But it's nice that there's good people out there who just believe in the cause, that we're getting Asian voices out there, and they're willing to come on. So that's one thing I've improved on, I think, is just being bold. And I'll be honest, there's times when it's like, man, I've sent out 20 DMs or 20 emails. I got nothing to show for it. But then one out of 20 or 1 out of 10, probably closer to 1 out of 20. One out of 20 will reply, and it's like, I never would have thought that person would talk with us, but they do, so that's pretty cool.
And I've told Mr. Chin from the beginning, just be patient. It's okay if they don't respond, but even if they don't respond immediately, there's a chance that they will, and that proved us right multiple times. Yeah. I mean, I think even when they don't reply, also just like knowing that it's not personal. Like, people are just busy. Sometimes people might not even read the message, So also just like not taking things to heart, because it's just a fun thing at the end of the day. It's
a fun thing, yeah. We're not depending on this for our food or housing.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. For me, like, I feel like I'm in the background and inconsistent, so I feel like I don't really fall under like podcaster label, but I think I've like grown a lot just as a young person. What I've learned most of all is to ask questions, and that passion and curiosity can take you a long way. Like, when you're young and you ask people questions genuinely, a lot of people want to help you, and you can learn so much. My intention with the podcast was just to sit back passively and just do everything behind the scenes. But I've been a part of so many conversations, which has pushed me to, advocate for myself, ask questions, learn different things, talk to people of all ages, and just absorb different types of wisdom. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Chin.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It just sounds like what you both have like really gained from this podcast and podcasting is just a lot of personal growth, just within yourself. Maybe you didn't get something that you wanted from the podcast itself, but the personal growth that you guys both got out of it is just really valuable. So in the 2 years that you've been doing this, you guys have grown as people, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's special too because I feel like for the both of us, it's also rooted in like finding community. Like the fact that we've been able to meet so many people, talk to people.
Yeah.
Like having the intention of illuminating Asian people and giving them a platform and, I don't know, just hoping that for success and a platform and like seeing that actually happen in real time is really cool.
Like even 6 years ago, I mean, let's go to like before Parasite won the Academy Award. You know, even 6 or 7 years ago, I don't know if we can do this show with interviews because I don't know if we could find enough people to talk to. You know, about Asians on television or Asians in literature. I mean, well, you know,
exactly.
Like current books and movies and music and TV. I just don't know how many actual guests we could get. But now, I mean, authors I could get. There are a lot of Asian American authors out there, TV shows, actors. It's a lot more than even just a few years ago.
Another thing that makes me happy is to see Asian characters not be defined by their Asianness necessarily. Like to have like well, I've never seen The Summer I Turned Pretty. I know like To All the Boys I've Loved Before, like her Asianness definitely plays a role in her character to some extent, but it's not like Mulan where it's her entire identity.
Or Fresh
like,
Off the Boat. Or
yes, exactly. Like being able to have like an Asian character who can be like the pretty girl next door who gets the jock like everybody wants, which was before never a role that was ever for any person of color. Like that's a really big thing.
Yeah. Or to see them producing, writing, and directing these shows, you know, like the casts are one thing, you know, like once in a while we've seen someone on screen, but behind the scenes, like, what Gene Yang was able to do and what Ali Wong has been able to do and Stephen Yeun, these are big projects. They're popular. They're money making, you know, they're important. And we're just definitely, like in the last 2 years, like really being able to see it. So that's been a really, really pleasant surprise. And part of the reason we're doing interviews probably more than we used to. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to ask you guys, what were your favorite episodes and why?
Well, we could turn around on you too, John. You can participate in this one.
Sure.
All right. Madison, you want to go first? What was your favorite episode that you did?
I think,
She's blinking, everyone. She's thinking and blinking.
I think, well, I know I wasn't a part of this one. This was the first one that I ever edited, but I really liked editing the Miranda one just because listening to it, I learned a lot, especially being interested in the entertainment industry and being like a creative force behind what is actually displayed, right? Because my dream job is to like write demos or songs for people, and go into audio stuff too, whether that's production or mixing music. And she created The Cleaning Lady and she writes for it. And so just being in a male-dominated, white-dominated space and getting to be a part of such cool projects and learning about her experience and how she got to where she is was really inspiring to me, and I learned a lot. But I guess like who we've talked to, I like talking to Tristan just because I feel like we're both like so excited to be new to what we're doing. You know, like obviously he played a very beloved character in a beloved movie, right? You know, being a part of Turning Red with Pixar was absolutely huge, but he's still like young, around my age, like excited to be a part of that project. And I'm new to a lot of this stuff too, so I also,
you know what I was gonna say from your era, Madison? I was gonna say Catherine Liang, Miss San Francisco, but then our first one of our first in-person ones became Miss California and came to talk to us at Galileo High School.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and it's funny, we're saying that we always time it just right. This is the last day of her reign. She's the new Miss California is going to be crowned today. So she might have more time to talk to us after.
Oh my
she's
God,
been so busy.
We've watched her growth since the beginning.
I know how cool is that? Like to have a friend, like I think I can call her a friend, but to have a friend, Miss San Francisco, which is a big deal, right?
Which, by the way, Mr. Chin never thought she was going to reply.
Yeah.
He was like, she's going to ghost us, huh? And I was like, it's fine. If she does, it's okay. But she might not. Just give her some time. And look, now we've met her in person. You guys are buds. And everything is happy.
I've been to her house.
Well, to drop something off.
I've been to the front gate. But yeah, no, I mean, how cool is that to see someone that you know become from Miss San Francisco, go all the way to Miss California, to be in the Miss America pageant. She didn't win, but still, Miss California, I mean, that's a big title, and, you know, I never would have guessed I would ever be friends with Miss California. But yeah, so she's great.
Yeah.
That episode, she's just such a good interview, too. I mean, she's so well-spoken, and, you know, just a great human being. I
also did learn a lot from Colleen, just about, like, her creative thought process, and, like, how nature and a culture, I don't know, like, how nature and culture plays into, her artistry, but like one that she feels prideful of and admires, but also is distant. Cause she's like you, where it's like for generations, her generations of her family have lived in America, and I've never had the opportunity to learn Chinese, but she still incorporates it so much in her work. And so,
that was one that I had no idea where that interview was going to go, because I know nothing about couture fashion, and I knew very little about her. Even, you know, I did a little research, of course, but yeah, that was one where we didn't know where that was going, Madison, but that one turned out really good. I don't think
we even knew where it was going when we were in the conversation.
No, and even when it was over, we were like, what just happened? It was a little nuts.
But lots of learning.
Lots of learning, yeah. Then for me, I was going to say, by far, I think, no shade on any of our other episodes, but doing the Korean rock band Rolling Quartz was that one, because you know what was really cool about that one is that they replied to my email, which I didn't think they would do. And then two, our communication was so brief. It was like, I would say, hey, do you want to come on the podcast? And this is what I can do, blah, blah, blah. And he wrote back, he's like, sure, we'll come on. Send me some dates, find an interpreter and send me some dates. And I was like, okay, like really brief conversations. And, you know, we didn't do any pre-production meetings or anything. So I was looking for an interpreter, and then we sent the dates, we confirmed the dates, but that was it. I sent him some dates. He goes, how about this one? And I was like, okay. And then, so I didn't know anything. I didn't know who was going to be there. I didn't know how the interpretation would go, because I just met Jumi, our interpreter, basically on Craigslist. I never told anyone this, but I just went on Craigslist, and she does Korean tutoring for like $30 an hour. And I said, hey, have you ever done any interpreting? And she's like, sure, I'll give it a try. So I'd never met her before. And then so I just had this Zoom link I sent to him. He accepted the link, the manager, but I had no idea what it was going to be. And then on that night, we were super nervous. And then they came on. It was all 5 of them. They did a performance for us, just for me and Jumi. And then they came on, and they had such energy and enthusiasm, and they were just ready to go. And they did all of our questions, and everything went super smoothly. And then, yeah, it just was cool. And then seeing them perform on stage, and then I got to meet them the next day at their meet and greet. And it was just like, everything just went so well, and they're so nice. And they're really talented, and I really hope that they blow up as a band. And yeah, so I didn't tell you guys this. So we just interviewed the manager. Actually, he came out on the show as well.
Awesome.
And found out more about his story. So that'll be fun. And yeah, so we may do some more Korean pop coming up. I've been reaching out to a bunch of, trying to find some small, I'm not going to get Blackpink on. I'm not going to get, BTS on. But there's some smaller bands, we're trying to reach out to them and these smaller labels and see if they would come on, now that we have at least one where we can prove proof of concept, right? That we can do a Korean language podcast. So anyway, so if you're out there, K-pop artists out there listening to us right now, come on our show. We'll do a good job. I promise you. So I think that was my favorite episode so far. Just overall. I think that's kind of one thing that we try to do is introduce people to topics. Like I know a lot of the books I've done are not our most popular episodes, but you know, if I can introduce someone out there to a book, a novel that they would never have picked up if it wasn't for the podcast, I feel like that's cool. You know, that someone says, "Hey, I heard your interview and I wanted to find it and I picked it up and, you know, I enjoyed reading it." Like that's kind of cool to be that part of, or a movie or a show or a group, you know, like there's music. There's things that I feel like we're doing a little bit of community service, right? Letting the community know about cool artists out there. Like we're going to interview this guy. People might not have heard of him, but he's done some music that's going to be on Warrior. He did some music for American Born Chinese.
Awesome.
And so he's cool. I think it's going to be a good interview. I think it's going to be a chance for people to meet a new artist that they've never heard of. So stuff like that is pretty satisfying, you know, to shine a light. Because, you know, honestly, if we got Simu Liu on, which would be exciting, but who hasn't heard an interview with Simu Liu, right? I mean, what are we going to do that's different than every other interview he's done? But not that many people have ever heard of Liu Xia or, you know, some of the authors that we've put on, Cecily Wong. Like, you know, they may not have ever heard of these people, but it's kind of cool to be able to do that for them.
Totally. I was thinking about some, and I don't have one favorite. I was just thinking like my top 3. So,
okay.
I liked episode 20 with Chef Shirley. That was entertaining. I liked episode 23 with your Stu and Kevin. I thought that was just I just enjoyed the conversation that you two had, and then just hearing about what he had to say, and then just the conversation you had. I thought that was great. And then episode 40, the actor draft. I thought that was really entertaining, really fun, and you know, your co-hosts were fun and they were funny, and you know, that always makes for a great pod when, you know, everyone is just super comfortable, super into it, and then, you know, you got a good rapport going with everybody. So I think with those 3, just listening, those are just great listens.
That was fun. Yeah, those guys from the Real Asian Podcast, they're taking a break, so we may not hear from them for a little while, but I still talk to them, so we may have them on for another episode or 2. We'll see. And then the woman who came on there, Lauren, she just had her baby today.
Oh, wow. Congratulations,
Lauren.
That's so happy.
Very exciting.
So she's definitely not coming on the pod anytime soon.
Yeah.
If you need a babysitter, I'm here.
Yeah, Lauren and Joel, if you need a babysitter, Madison is willing to come to you. Oh, man. Yeah. Speaking of former students, that's very satisfying. Yeah, to speak to former students. 1, because I get to see them and talk to them, but 2, just to, you know, shine a light on what they're doing, and they're doing some cool stuff. Yeah. And someday Madison's going to debut her single on our show.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
No, perhaps. There is no perhaps.
If I ever have the confidence to.
Yeah. No, but you're going to do it, right? We're going to debut it here, right? Come on, Madison. Come on. It's a built-in audience. You don't even have to try to get an audience. The audience is already there. They're fans of you already. She's thinking. She's hesitating.
I'm a little bit shy.
I will talk to her people. I will get my people to talk to her people. We'll work something out. We'll get her on with the guitar, maybe some backup vocals, but we'll get her on. Don't worry, audience. We'll get her on. Okay, yeah. Thanks for your feedback on that. That's interesting. I'm curious out there, audience, if you want to send us your favorite episodes, that would be great. I would love the feedback.
Yeah, you got a lot. You got a lot. Yeah,
it's getting a little catalog going. We got quite a collection. I think we're on episode like 80 something.
That's crazy.
That's kind of crazy, and that doesn't even include the side dishes.
So yeah, that's true.
Huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we have over 100 uploads, I think.
You need a cake.
Yeah. We'll take a pic. I'll make a cake for myself and take a picture of it for the.
Moving forward, Curtis, what direction do you think you'll have going forward for the pod?
I don't know. Yeah, okay, here's one that I definitely want to do more of, is more in person. I really like the in-person format, and we're starting to do more. We did that one in the store. We're going to do another one in the store for Blackpink when they come to town in August.
In the store?
We did a show, for twice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so that was really fun. Live studio audience, so that was kind of fun. It was definitely, I was sweating. My glasses were fogging up because, you're not only recording, but you're performing, right? You feel like you're in front of an audience. So that was a little nerve-wracking, but fun. Yeah. And I want to do more episodes with food, actually consuming food.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go to a restaurant. We just talk about food, which is so frustrating. Like, I want to go to a restaurant. I want to be slurping, a little ASMR.
Okay, so more like personal, like tangible.
In studio.
Actually going on location. Yeah, going either in studio or on location. Like going to the store, having people at my house when I'll cook for them, or, we'll talk about Trader Joe's frozen food as we eat it, like not just on Zoom. We want to consume
You'll need to get an intern or one of your kids to video it.
Yeah, that's another direction. Maybe do more video. I don't know, but that's so much more work.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, everyone. We are kind of at the end of this show because we've gone, what are we at, 2 hours now? We've been doing this for a while, but we're kind of at the end of the episode, but we like to end each episode by asking our guests to choose someone in the Asian community that they admire, living or deceased, and shout them out. These are our Infatuasians. So Jon and Madison, you can choose who goes first. Who is your Infatuasian?
Ladies first.
Okay, Maddie.
I feel like I'm sort of horrible at this because, to be honest, this is horrible, especially because I'm on this podcast, but I don't know a lot of people. But I think with streaming music, something I've thought is really cool is new artists getting a platform, like Biba Doobie, for example. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a Filipina English singer. She's very popular among young people. Same with like Mitski. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they would have had the amount of success they do and like the amount of influence, not just as like musicians, but like also like with pop culture. Like everyone, I know a lot of people like to recreate Biba Doobie's like makeup look. People will think she's pretty. Like I don't know if that would have happened like 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And she's opening for Taylor Swift, which is huge.
Yeah. Okay.
Fun times.
I don't even know who you're talking about, to be honest.
Like indie alternative artists. Okay. Just like I feel like streaming platforms have opened up a new window for like number one, the kind of music that is made and listened to. Yeah. And like the people behind it. Yeah. No, that's cool. Especially because like with pop stars, even like age is such a big thing. Like once somebody reaches like 25, like 30, it's like you're old. You know what I mean? But like with
you're a boomer.
Yeah, exactly. But with like streaming, I feel like people don't really pay attention to the face as much, which is really special because that's not what it's about.
All right. Cool.
What about you?
How about you, Jon? I'll go last.
Yeah, I thought about this question. There are two. When I was growing up, there's two guys that were kind of there at different points that just were there for me. Growing up, they just helped mentor me. They just helped me get through just certain things in life. One guy, his name is June. He when I was going to school in San Diego, he was just one of like a mentor. Really appreciated him for that. And then another was Carson. When I came back home from college, he was just there to help me get back home and just do normal things. Like, he helped me drive me around to different car dealerships, and so I can buy my first car. He would just, mentor me and just like different things. So yeah, not like huge, aha, life-changing things from these guys, but they were there for me just growing up. So like those two people popped into my head. So
that's a good answer. I didn't even think about choosing somebody from my personal life, but now that you say that, I would definitely say my paternal grandma, 100%.
Yeah, I feel like it's like 50-50 when people on the show that who they pick. A lot of 50% people are someone that they really know well in their life, and then 50% choose like a celebrity or something.
Yeah,
but it's fine either way, right? Like these are our people. These are the people we admire. So, are you ready for my answer? First time ever choosing an Infatuasian on my own show. I'm going with. You're going to think this is kind of a cop-out. I'm going with my audience.
Oh, nice.
I don't even know if they're all Asian, but they are my Infatuasian.
That's okay.
I know a few of them. So shout out to Rebecca, who listens to almost every episode as well. And she sends me feedback. Ling Ji, I get messages. Yeah, everyone knows Ling Ji. He's come on the show a couple times. But then there's WK, who messages me almost every day about random things. He sends me reels. He sends me just random things every day.
That's awesome.
My guy Don at Mark D Photos. Ying Su listens. By Zen, Angus, Fauzia in the Netherlands. I'm pretty sure she listens to a lot of our shows. I'm going to shout out two people I just met at this CCW workshop. So Emily and Amy, shout out to you if you're actually listening this far. I mean, I don't think you are. It's an hour and 20 minutes in. But shout out to everyone who listens. Even if you only listen to one if this is your first episode, hey, man, welcome. And so all my guests and collaborators, it's been a fun 2 years. So thank you, everyone.
I want to thank the little boy who goes to sleep.
Oh, yeah, that kid. I mean, forget.
If you still listen to this, it's okay if not. But
I think it's Melanie's kid. Yeah, so shout out to Melanie's kid who listens to podcasts when he falls asleep, and we are one of the ones that puts him to sleep. Is that a good thing? I don't know. Well, I don't know. I think it's wholesome entertainment, so hopefully it's still working for him. But yay, that does it for our 2-year anniversary. Thanks, John. Thanks, Madison, for coming on. Happy anniversary to us.
Happy anniversary. Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, it's been fun. Hey, hopefully we'll do another one 2 years from now. We'll do a 4-year. What year will that be? That'll be 25.
Yeah, we'll have to look up what gift that is. What gift is 4 years? 4-year anniversary. But thanks so much, guys, for coming on. And audience, thank you for, why would we do this if we didn't have you? And so thank you for listening. Some of you, perhaps for the first time. So we hope you're enjoying the show. Hey, write to us. Let us know what you are thinking and what you want us to do. Share us your ideas at infatuasianpodcast@gmail.com. We are definitely open to ideas. All right, so I think that does it for our 2-year anniversary. On this occasion, Madison, do you want to do the outro?
Yeah, I would love to do the outro.
Take it away, Maddie.
Please listen and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. We could always use your ratings and reviews over at Apple and Spotify. Thank you all for listening, and on behalf of John, Mr. Chin, and myself, we hope you are all happy, healthy, and safe. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.